So let's start with the Selenium. How should we automate? Okay, we have completed why, okay, and we are going to do what and how. Okay, so what is Selenium we have to understood, and in the coming modules we'll come to know how to do it. Okay, so these three things actually helps us. I always follow this thing: why, what, and how. Or maybe you can change it, what you wanted to know, then why. Okay, but I always follow this thing. If you have this concept in your mind, if you know what and why, right, how will be done by itself. You don't have to worry it. Okay, so Selenium is best. Actually, friends, Selenium is used to automate only web applications. I'll repeat my statement. Selenium is used to automate only web applications. There are many applications like desktop applications. SAP is also an application. There are many ERP tools. They are also a type of an application. Okay, Oracle, IBM DB2, MySQL, all those are applications only, like it's a database application, like that way. Okay, so you cannot do mobile apps testing. You can do mobile web testing. So you will come to know about the advantage of Selenium. None of the application and automation tool in the market do automation testing in iPhone or Android. Okay, so testing an application is actually totally a different thing, because it's a exe file, Java file that is there, but you can do web testing on phone. Okay, Teja is asking, I work for Tivoli products. A product covers database, application, server, and mobile. So can these three components covered by Selenium? See, first product is Tivoli. That is a data management tool. Okay, friends, Tivoli, I'll like to tell you what Tivoli is. Tivoli actually is a database management tool. Okay, that you can do, means that's it for you. Okay, it's a IBM tool which is there for in that IBM DB2 is integrated. Okay, so I work for Tivoli product. A product covers database, application, server. So your application is web. So friends, we got a very good scenario. She has a Tivoli IBM RF tool, and there she has few database applications. Okay, so she's having a web application, and that web application is, okay, Tivoli asset management. Yeah, that's Tivoli applications management. Okay, so Teja, correct me if I'm going wrong. Okay, so she has a web application, then that web application is integrated with Tivoli applications management. Okay, yes, Teja, you can do Selenium integrate. You can design a framework which will interact with web application, that we are covering it. Okay, now what is the advantage of Selenium? You can download Tivoli Java API and integrate with Selenium, and rather than going to Tivoli and get the data out of it, through your Selenium framework itself you can get the data out of it. Okay, in my project, in explanation, I'll be taking up how you can integrate many things with Selenium and get your things done, like database thing. Okay, so that will help you. So yes, you can do it. I think I have answered your question, Teja. Okay, sure. Thanks, Teja. So where were we? We were like, okay, let me complete this slide first. It's very important, and it's very important for you guys also to think. Okay, Selenium is only for web applications. Okay, and the best part is that it supports multiple operating systems along with multiple programming languages with support for almost most of the browsers like Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Safari. Okay, so with the help of Selenium, you can do performance and testing also of your application, and you can check the execution speed of you can analyze how fast your application is working. Okay, you can do little bit of load testing on your application. Actually, there is a specific tool in the market called Load Runner, or RFP tool called RPT, Rational Performance Testing Tool. So they are specific tools to test performance of an application, but there is also a feature in Selenium to test your the performance of your application. Okay, you can do a load testing, you can test your applications with lots of data, and you can test your applications on multiple browsers as well. Okay, so that will give you a picture how good and how fast your application is. Okay, in between I'll take up an examples. I have a very good example, but let me complete this slide, then I'll come up. Okay, then we have a programming, as I told you that multiple programming languages are there. So if your application, just listen clearly, it's a very good statement. If your application is built in Java, okay, you can use Perl to design a Selenium and test that Java application. If your application is built in PHP, you can design a Selenium tool in PHP or Python or Java or Ruby or Perl or JavaScript and test your application. So you have full flexibility. You are not at all concerned what technology the people have used to design a web application. You can use any of these languages, design a tool and do it. Okay. Even in other automation tools, you don't have a flexibility to test it on many operating systems, but in Selenium you can. And you have a different option to test it on multiple browsers at the same time, multiple versions of the browsers also. Okay, so we'll come to know in Selenium Grid how can we test, do a testing on multiple browsers at the same time. I told you it supports multiple browsers, but there is one more thing. You can do parallel execution on 4 different systems also, and even in your system also you can do a execution on 2 different browsers at the same time, keeping your browser minimized. I think what I said is good, amazing, right? So let's go to the next slide. Friends, we have very less time also, but don't worry, I'll try to cover up the things fast, and let me know if I'm going fast or slow, and if you have any question you can ask me. Okay, why I'm saying every time, because it gives you a hint that you have to ask the question. Okay, so when was Selenium founded? Like in 2004, there was a developer in ThoughtWorks who was like you only. He was thinking, his name is Jason Huggins. He was doing some process and he wrote a JavaScript and thought, okay, why should I do this thing? Why not to write a JavaScript and get the things done? So he wrote a small JavaScript and that was working, and that worked for him. So he, along with his development team, designed a tool. Now tool come into picture. As of now, there was no tool. They come up at the first time, they designed a tool called Selenium IDE. That was a record and play. That was a proof, because that was a proof to show how automation can be done. Okay, there is a tool. We'll see in the coming slides what Selenium IDE is, and with that we can do little bit of automation, not 100%, but yeah, 30, 40%, 50% or 60% you can. In Selenium IDE tool, you cannot put your logic. Okay, so record and play is never a good option and is not used by any of the company in the market. Okay, but yes, even QTP is also record and play option. IBM RFT has record and play option. Selenium has record and play option. But that gives you a picture and gives you a level of understanding how automation can be done. But things cannot be done with record and play, because things are dynamic. Everything is dynamic in the market. Okay, so these guys worked on together and came up with an API called Selenium Remote Control. That was an open source. They made it as an open source and put it in the market. Okay, so with the help of Selenium RC, that is the second component of Selenium, they were able to put a logic in it. Okay, putting a logic in it means, I'll take 1 or 2 examples. Like you want to do same things 10 times, like you have one script, you want to do it 10 times. Why not to put a for loop to repeat it again and again? Okay, I want to put a condition. If the user who is going to log in is an administrator, give him admin access. If the user who is going to log in an application, he's a normal user, give him, like he's one of the employee of the company, give him as an employee access. If the user who is going to access an application is a guest user, don't give him access at all. So that is the logic you have put. But when you do record and play, the thing that you have recorded, that will only get repeated. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So in 2000, this tool was Selenium was used in Google. It was used by Google was the first company who was actually using it a lot. Maybe other companies are also there, but this Google was using it to automate their many processes. So there was a developer called Simon Stewart. He thought there are so many bugs he found because it was in 2000 only 4 it came, and he started working on it by 2005 only. Okay, if anything comes in the market, it won't be 100% correct. Okay, today if you try to do something, you won't be an expert, but when you try to do it, practice hard and do the things, you will become an expert. Okay, so this guy was thinking there are so many bugs and tools in the Selenium RC, so he thought I'll try to fix the things, because Selenium RC architecture was from Jason point of view, he did a very great job, right friends? He did a very great job. He thought out of the box. Then what Simon thought, I'll twist it and make the things, and he came up with a new tool called Webdriver. Okay, and that Webdriver was overcoming all the bugs that were there in the Selenium RC, and Selenium RC was not able to do all the things. So he came up with a tool Webdriver, and right now every company and means the community is Google and ThoughtWorks is working on Selenium Webdriver only. The RC has been deprecated. Okay, so how Selenium Webdriver formed? Okay, before the first tool came was Selenium IDE. Okay, then which tool came? That was a prototype to show how automation works. Then to put a logic in it, ThoughtWorks came up with a tool called Selenium RC. That tool was used by Google, and they fixed up the things, and the tool came Selenium WebDriver. But altogether, they cannot neglect each and everything. Okay, so they merged both the projects, and it came as Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so in Selenium RC, the Java API was not good. The naming conventions were not good. It was not pure object-oriented programming. So Selenium Driver has additional advanced features. It is pure object oriented, and it is supporting Selenium RC things also, because there are many companies who are using Selenium RC. So if today they are migrating, deprecating RC then and coming up with Selenium WebDriver, then WebDriver should support what has already been done. So it is supporting all the browsers. Okay, and it works very close to the browser. That's the reason RC and Selenium WebDriver both are the execution in that is too fast. Okay. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. Okay. So these are the people who did a contribution to the Selenium API, not to the tool. It's an project, and each person has done its own small things, and all together they have merged the things and come up with the tool. Okay, there is a link at the bottom. If you want, you can go to the slide, maybe if you want. So these are the list of group of peoples who have worked on. Let me go to a link called Selenium Contributors. You can see lots of Indian people are also there. They have worked on it, and people from all over the world, they have worked on it. So it's not a one people who have did a full contribution to Selenium. There are many people who have worked on it. So once you will be familiarized with, once you will be very much familiar with Selenium, you will come to know what is store. So there are many things that they have come up. Someone has worked on click, someone has worked on perform, someone has worked on start, and someone has worked on get test time. So like that, in Java API, there are many things that has been that is there. So it's not that one person is there, only Jason and Stewart did everything. No, they have a team, and everyone did contributed their part, and this is how it's going. Okay. So that was the contribution done by to Selenium. Now your Selenium components are going to start. Okay, so first manual testing process was there. Then in 2004, ThoughtWorks developer, he came up with a tool called Selenium IDE, so that he can show a prototype how automation can be done. Okay, then they came up with Selenium RC, so that because in IDE was a tool record and play, you cannot put a logic in it. Okay, so to put a logic in it, they came up with Selenium RC. Then within 2 years it went to Google. Then they came up, no, there are many bugs in it. Then Selenium 2 came. Okay, WebDriver. So WebDriver is one tool, Selenium is other tool. Then they, like when they were about to launch Webdriver, they thought they have to integrate Selenium also. Then they gave a name Selenium Webdriver. So RC was Selenium 1 and Webdriver is Selenium 2. We call Webdriver also as Selenium Webdriver. Okay. But when Google came up, they came up with a tool named Webdriver, not RC. Okay. Then the last one is Selenium Grid to do parallel execution. Okay. I think you guys are there, right? Because it's okay. Don't get out of the flow. Okay. So then flavors of Selenium is what? So Selenium IDE is one of the tools that came first. Then came Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver was second, and the last one is Selenium Grid. So right now these two are very much connected. If you want to do parallel execution, you can use Selenium Grid. If you want to do use the advanced feature of Selenium, you can use Selenium WebDriver. Selenium RC is deprecated now. Now no enhancement or development is going on, and IDE is there. That is just for record and play. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So I want to ask this question. I want to explain you this question. Okay. So why was this course not done with the grid since it's the latest? Yes, we are doing. We'll be covering grid also. Shovan asked a question. Why was this course not done with the grid since it's the latest? Oh, why this course? Okay. Yeah, we'll be covering grid. Don't worry. Sorry. We'll be covering Shovan. We'll be covering the example. We have a separate module for it. Grid also. So what was the pain point in Selenium when it came? As I told you, when things come first time, because there are other automation tools. If someone asks you what was the pain point in Selenium, but now it is not there. So it was like, it was very much fun. It first time came, it was a JavaScript project. So the security of that security model of that project was very strict. Like if you are on Facebook or like, no, I won't take a Facebook example every time. So let's take a case, you are on Times of India. Okay, no, for US friends again it will be a problem. Okay, you are on Amazon. Okay, you are buying something and at the same time you want to check the price on Flipkart of the same book that you are going to buy or a shoe that you are going to buy. Okay, so you cannot jump from one application to the other. That was the problem initially. Then like it's the same thing that you cannot jump between the domains. Like now with WebDriver, you have an option to jump on one application at the same time. You can go to the other application, do the things, then come back, close that application and come back here. So that was a problem. In the same browser, it was like you cannot go to the other tab to do it. Why? There is a reason, I'll tell you. Okay. Single host origin policy is the same thing that I told you, that you will be on the same app. This concept is called single host origin policy. If you are in an application, like let's take a case www.edureka.com, so you will be in edureka.com. If you want to go to connect to other application called www.amazon.com, then you cannot. Why? There is a reason. Because let's take a case, you are doing your HDFC bank transaction and you are on Edureka website. I want to do some testing on it. So what will happen? Someone can, you are trying to enter something in your HDFC bank account. You want to enter your details. So who is there actually doing a testing on your Edureka website can fire a JavaScript on your application and get the data out of it. Okay. So domain communication was not there and it cannot be done. Right now also there is a security model in your browser that two different domains should not communicate with each other. Okay. And in IE, if you can see, sometimes in the left bottom you can see something in yellow saying JavaScript. Okay, so IE was not supporting initially Selenium IDE. Right now you can see in the left side, most of the time, maybe it will not come now, but you could have seen that right this part something will come JavaScript. If someone is trying to execute in one domain, some from other domain, IE mode was not supporting. So those were the drawbacks. Okay. And RC API become harder to understand how best to use it. So when they came up, they didn't came up with a proper naming conventions, and it was not a proper object-oriented flow. Okay. So point 4 was that when Selenium RC came at that point, the naming conventions that they had for the classes was not good, not correct. Okay. So it was creating a problem for the end user like me, you, to understand what this API is going to do. Instead of type, they were typing type keys from keyboard. Okay, instead of send text, they said they gave a name, send text to the web element, like that way. So it was even two different class names were giving the same meaning. So that was the problem for that. Okay, in the initially when Selenium came. Okay, so one of the component is Selenium IDE. Okay, as I told you. So what it is basically a record and play. So friends, like whatever components we have here, okay, Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium Webdriver, and Selenium Grid. Okay, so in first module I have given an introduction of all, so that you will be having in mind that okay, this is what we have to study in coming modules. Okay, so I'll not try to get into too much, okay, because and anyways we have to go it, but I want you guys to understand what it is, so that you will have a picture in your mind what all the things that we are going to study and what is there in Selenium. Okay, so Selenium IDE is basically a tool. It's a Firefox plugin. I'll show you how it looks. So you can, in tools, can you see Selenium IDE? It's there, right? So how to integrate it? You can go to Selenium IDE download. You'll get a link, Selenium download Selenium IDE. It's the official website of like it's, I shouldn't say a very like the companies, they're like ThoughtWorks and Google, they are updating this website, but there is no dedicated team actually providing up-to-date data. Okay, so they'll keep on updating this website. So this is the official website of Selenium, where they'll be updating the, you can download the latest release of the Java or Java project or Python or Perl, or you can get the latest version of the Webdrivers. So I'll tell you what Webdrivers is in the coming session. Okay, so you can click on install some plugins. One second, no. You have download latest version. So the latest version of Selenium IDE is 2.8.0. If you will click on it, it will ask you to allow. Right now it's already there for me. So I'll click on allow. Okay, fine. Adding to downloads. As it's already there, so I won't click on install. I'll not click on install. For you guys, you just have to click on install. Okay, so I'll be you guys will get a document how to add a plugin in your browser. So once you'll click on install, you can go to tools and you can see Selenium IDE is there. Okay, I won't click on it because you guys will be more curious how it looks like. Okay, let me complete this slide, then I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, so feature of Selenium IDE is that it was initially when it came, it was a record and play tool. Okay, so you can click on record button and you can record a test script, test case. Okay, you can do record and play option. So this IDE tool was very only for Firefox, not for any other browsers. Okay, and the best part is that if you are a new user, if you are a beginner, okay, you don't know about Selenium, then IDE is a very good friend of you. Okay, anyways, I'll be completing it at the end in the modules, because if you will be too much like I'll tell you the reasons, because it gives you a flexibility of exporting it in different programming languages. Like I have recorded my script, I can export that recorded script in Java, Python, Perl, or other languages, even for testing also. So that is the advantage of Selenium IDE. So if someone is new to automation, he can see how things can be coded. You have an option to record, edit, and debug. Excellent way of learning Selenium. So it's having actually a very easy way to do automation. Okay, the things are very easy, user friendly. If there is a drop down that will help you guys. Okay, so before explaining this diagram, I want to show you how it looks like. Okay, this is how the Selenium IDE will look. Okay, I'll open it from Firefox because there is no other option to do it. So I have clicked on Selenium IDE. So this is how it will look. Okay. So if I'll click on this, when you click on it, this button is already running. Okay. Now recording, click to stop the recording. So recording is already going on. Okay. So if I'll click here, enter it, I'll click on projects and I'll click on download. Okay. And I'll click come here. So you can see the steps were getting recorded. What I'll do, I'll stop the script. Now I'll go and click here. What will happen? See, at backend it is loading. Okay, let me run it again. It has launched the page. It will click on projects. It will click on download. Can you see how fast it is working? Okay. See friends, I have many things to do. I don't want to leave you guys. I have lots of things to explain you, but I'm running out of time. So I'm just little bit things in a faster way so that things can also be completed and you will be knowing up. So let me know if am I going fast or is it okay? Okay, let me know if I'm going fast. Okay. So you can click, this is how it comes. Okay. So in the coming sessions, we'll see what all the commands you can write from here. You have a drop down to select the values. Okay. You have a place to put a object here, like click and wait. You have a target. You have a property you can put here. If you want to enter some username and password, you can put here. So this is how it looks like as of now. Okay, we'll get into detail what UI element, rollup, reference, log is, and how to write and export it in different languages. Okay, so that's all for the introduction for Selenium IDE. Let me close this. Don't save. Go back to slide. So we have seen like how it looks like. Okay, that's it. And I showed you how you can do record and play. Nothing more than that. Okay, so what things you can do here? I was the client and I opened Selenium IDE. I did record and play, and then when I did record and play, you saw some steps were there. Okay, you saw some steps were getting recorded in the. Okay, let me open it again. I'll go to the contribution, downloads, tools, Selenium IDE. It's getting already recorded. Recording is started. I'll click on the URL. I'll click on projects, downloads. I'll type Edureka and I'll click on go. So these steps actually got recorded here. Okay, I'll click on stop. Now this is the script which I was saying. Okay, the untitled one. I'll give a name to it called Edureka and I'll click on it. So this is my Edureka script. If I'll click on it, it will load the page. Projects, document, Edureka, go. Can you see how fast it is execution? Yeah, that's what the benefit of Selenium is. It works very close with the browser. It works from the heart of the browser. Okay, so today I'll be giving you a small demo because I don't want it to be very theoretical session. I wanted you guys to see how small things, how automation is done. The speed that you saw is faster in Webdriver. Okay, here itself you saw how good it was working, but in Webdriver it's much faster than that also. See, I have clicked here, but you can see in the backend the execution was going on. Okay, so that was the script. Like that way, if I'll create multiple scripts, I have an option to run it in a bunch. That is called test suite. Okay, I can save it in my local system. So I have a test case, each of the test case, and I can run it in bunch also. Like in one application, you will be having 1000 test scripts. So one by one, you no need to do it. You can run it in a bunch altogether. So if you save each test case, it will be a default HTML. But even if you want, like even for suite also, you can say a bunch of HTML. But if you want to export it in different programming languages, you can. Okay, I'll give you a quick. I'll quickly show you how it is. So Ruby, Python, Java, C#. Okay, like in other different languages you can do it. Even for suite also, you can save it as a complete suite. Just import it, and complete suite itself you can export it in the different programming languages. Okay, let's go to the next slide, friends. So that was about Selenium IDE. Then in Selenium RC, so what was Selenium IDE? In Selenium IDE, we don't have an option to put a logic in it. Okay, if I wanted to have one flow and put some logic in it, as I told you, if someone logins as an administrator or a normal user or a guest, you can put a logic in it. Okay, even if you want to take a screenshot and you want to connect to a database and get the data out of it, so those many things you can do with Selenium RC. Okay, so in Selenium RC, actually, when Selenium RC interacts with the browser, there is an intermediate person called Selenium server. Okay, friends, you can go through the recording once again because it is new for you. So maybe I'll just So to visualize the things, sometimes it might be difficult for you because it is new. So I'll go to the third slide and then say the definition of Selenium RC. So in Selenium RC, actually, I don't want you to visualize the things. Okay. So Selenium RC is this person. Okay. I want to interact with the browser. So in Selenium RC, there is a server in between who actually understands your code and convert all that code in form of a Selenium core, that is a JavaScript, and injects in your browser. So you don't have to do anything. Selenium server will take handle of it. Okay. So before you run your project, you have to launch your server and then do your execution. So whatever you will do, it will convert it in form of a JavaScript, and it will inject in the browser, and it will be executed. Okay. So that's how the Selenium RC, why it came, because we just want to put a logic in it, because IDE was not that much efficient. Then we have Selenium server, as I told you. Within Selenium RC, we have Selenium server, which actually interacts with your browser. So when you try to run your test case, Selenium server understands in a common form. You can write your script in Java, Python, Perl, any language, but your client library, like whichever Selenium RC, what it will do, it will convert that language to a language what Selenium server understands, that is JavaScript, and that JavaScript will be consolidated together and put it in your browser. So your execution will be too fast. There is not to and fro. Every time you are not going back to the RC, coming back to the browser, going back to the RC through server, coming back to the browser. Like that way things are not done. It was just consolidated together and it was putting in the browser and execution was done. Okay, so Selenium server was actually running your things in a separate browser, and like it was launching a server browser and your application, and it was done. Okay, so support for, so Selenium server, you got it. It is an intermediate between test script and browser, launches and kills your browser, and then there is a client library for doing multiple programming. So you can use any of the programming languages to do. So you know what a Selenium server is. That's it. You know what is there and how things are done. Okay. So this is just a very good picture to visualize the things, that someone is there in between who is interacting with the browser, that I'm not the one. And this person is actually taking all your steps and converting it to a JavaScript and putting it into the heart of the browser so that browser can do the execution fast. Okay. So this is quickly a same thing what I said. You have your client library, any language, that will be sent to a server. Let me move my window down. Okay, that will be sent to a server through HTTP, and it will launch the browser. It will launch any browser which you want and the application that you want to test. So in my code itself, I'll tell which browser I want it to run. So server will launch and do it. And once everything is done, like it will, this browser will interact with the web server and do the things and come back. So this part is, this part which you can see here, first two part is application specific. Okay, and Selenium side is this one, it's a server, and this is your code where exactly you will be writing it. So your code will be interacting with the server, server will be doing communication with your application. It will do the execution on the application under test, and it will come back. It will send an acknowledgement. It will, because these people are communicating through HTTP, so it will send an acknowledgement back to the server that I have done the execution. This is the output I have. Okay. We'll get more into the architecture of it because we have a dedicated module for RC IDE and that. But as of now, it's okay. And Selenium core is the JavaScript that will be injected in the browser. Okay. So what was the pain point of Selenium RC? Sorry, I should not say pain point right now. What is the benefit? You can put a logic, you can use multiple programming languages, you can test your application on multiple operating systems. You can, at the same time, you can do parallel execution also. Okay, so before it was Selenium Grid, now there is an advanced version of Selenium Grid also. Okay, so just once it gets completed, I'll try to draw a diagram in and wanted to show you that how it is all together. Okay, so dynamic applications was not getting handled by Selenium IDE. E but can be handled with RC. Shovan has a question, what is Ajax in layman terms? Okay, Shovan, that's good. Ajax based application means dynamic web applications. Okay. I specifically use the word Ajax because it's a latest it's a technology which is used by most of the web applications. It's based on JavaScript. Okay. So for web dynamic applications, I think I've answered the question, Shovan. So what is Webdriver? So two components we have covered. We have seen a picture of it, that how it is. Okay, let me do a quick execution for, no, that's okay. We'll see it after the explanation of this, okay, as we have a specific time. We have a dedicated time for something, so let's do what has we are asked to do it, okay. So, okay, thanks, Shovan. So what is Selenium WebDriver? Selenium WebDriver, as I told you, as you guys already know that what was the pain points in Selenium RC, that API was not good. There were, it was like a same origin policy. You cannot communicate between two different domains. Like Amazon, if execution is done on Edureka, it cannot communicate to the other domain. That was a very big pain point. And it was not able to handle advanced applications. So WebDriver overcomes those scenarios, okay, and it has a simpler architecture and it's a complete object-oriented model. So what they did, WebDriver was the third tool, and they integrated with RC called Selenium 1, and they came up with Selenium 2.0. So Selenium WebDriver also supports multiple operating system, multiple programming languages, and different versions of the browser and different browsers as well. So this picture will help you in understanding. I think this is a very good diagram, very simple diagram, and clears the picture what it is. Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, WebDriver, Selenium Grid. Then RC came, then RC and WebDriver got merged, and Selenium 2 came, and the development is currently done by Google, and it is done on Selenium, means they are doing it on Selenium 2.0. Selenium WebDriver, I'll just take a quick overview. Again, it is simpler, right? And it has a very good concise program. You guys can, I'll go through one by one. I'm explaining it. You guys can read the statement, because I don't like reading out the statement, as I already know. So I'll just tell you the meaning of it, because it's a very bad thing that I feel reading out the statements. Okay, so you guys can read out the things I am explaining. So point one, it's a simpler API, concise programming languages, and it's better than Selenium RC API. The API what is there in second point, the API which is there in WebDriver is compact compared to 1.0. Okay, better than RC and compact also. Okay. Selenium RC interacts through server, but WebDriver don't interact with server. It directly communicates with the browser. Okay, I'll show you the diagram. There is no server in between. That's the reason it is faster than that also. Already RC was faster, but it is faster than this also. Okay, it interacts with browsers directly. Okay, so it overcomes as I was telling you, along with this, there were advanced features like uploading a file on the web applications, and handling of pop-ups, handling of dialog boxes. So those has been handled in WebDriver. Okay, and the last point, single host origin policy, like communication between two different domains. So how communication is done between two different domains, I'll tell you. Okay, in the coming sessions you will see a practical on it, how the communication is done between two different domains. So WebDriver is actually overall a complete big package to do everything. This is the diagram which clears the picture. So Selenium WebDriver, so friends, can I get a quick hi from everyone? I think this is, after this I have a grid. Quickly give me a hi. Till now, till this slide, everything is clear. See, module 1, I know this is theoretical. I'm trying my best to put some practical examples, but I cannot, I have to cover the theoretical part. I have to make you understand what it is, okay? I don't want to skip any of the things, okay? Okay, show one. Yes, all is crystal clear. Thanks, Alvin. Thanks, Alvin. if okay, fine, that's good. I need your feedback also, friends. Once you will complete the session, a feedback link will become. So I wanted to know what all the things are there. Okay, that what questions you have in your mind. So let's understand this slide and remove all our confusions. Let's see what Selenium WebDriver is. This is my Selenium WebDriver. It supports what? Cross. And friends, these features is nowhere in any of the automation tool in the market. So cross-browser testing, I can do testing on multiple browsers. Supports different languages. Yes, I have an option to do it in multiple languages. Support for different operating system. Yes, I can use any of the operating system which I want. Most of the people, especially in US, they work on Mac, but in India we work on Windows, Linux. Okay, it's a country to country, it depends. Okay, and it gives an option to work on Android and iOS. Okay, I'll try to right now, as I told you, I'm creating a project on Android. iOS, I don't have a platform, but I'll try my best to get access to any Mac system and try to do it. But it's a little bit difficult, but I'll try to get it done. Okay, but not impossible. So fourth is easy framework development. So framework development, same thing is there in all the automation tools. All the automation tools in the industry follow keyword driven, data driven, and a combination of these two is called hybrid. We'll get to it. In fourth module, we have a separate module for all these, and page model component. So as of now, just go with the names. What is there inside, we'll see. And there is a parallel testing you can do using Selenium Grid, which is really difficult for any of the automation tool in the market. But with Selenium WebDriver, the best part is that it is a very light thing. It's not a tool that I have to go and install it. It's just only one thing is there, that is Selenium IDE. That comes also as a plugin of few KBs or MBs, not more than 2 MB. And it's a pure Java project. You can, any language project, you can use it. Okay. So this picture gives, this slide gives you a complete picture what Selenium WebDriver is. Okay. So what is Selenium Grid? So friends, I've already told you that if you want to do parallel execution, you have Selenium Grid. Okay, you can do your execution on multiple systems. Let's take a case, I have 5 dedicated systems, because in my company, my client is actually they were having 2,000. Now the client with which I'm working, they are the huge, like it's a huge project. They are a company. This company is of almost 30 to 40 years old. And they have 5,000 plus web applications. You can imagine the scenario how difficult it is for them to handle it. But they are going with automation only. They have no other option. They have no other option. They cannot hire so many resources and give that much of knowledge to them. Okay, so they are going with automation. So to test those many applications, what they have done, they have dedicated. To be very frank, I'm telling you the actual figures. For big applications, they have altogether they have dedicated 40 systems. It's you don't need a high-end system, right? You don't need very high-end system for testing it. You can use a system with normal configurations for testing. But yes, you need a big RAMs if you are testing your application 24/7. So they are parallelly they are testing their applications 24/7 on that. So that can be done with the help of Selenium Grid only. Okay. So from the system that you are going to launch is a hub. They have a master slave architecture. They have a master from which they are going to launch the testing execution, and that will be run on 4 different systems. That will be your slaves. So master is ordering to the slaves, go and execute it. So those systems can be any operating systems, can have any versions of the browser, any browser. Okay, so this is the hub. He is a master saying that these are the slaves executing on different systems. So Windows, IE, Mac, Safari, Android, Web Tool, and my window is hiding this, Ubuntu, Firefox. Okay, so you can do parallel execution. It's platform independent, language independent, browser independent, and you can achieve fast execution. Okay, so how can you achieve fast execution? If I have 200 test cases, if I have a one machine and average time to cover one test case is 1 minute, then I'll be 10 minutes then 10 minutes into 200. That much time it will take. If I have 4 different machines, parallel, I'll dedicate 50, 50, 50 scripts to each of the machine. So time taken will be 10 into 200. 10 is the time. It's a very huge application. I'm saying 10 minutes means it's like a one test script is having 500 steps to complete. Okay. There was an application I've worked in Salesforce. I'll be taking up in the coming session. They have a flow of 350 steps to complete one complete flow. Okay, so that was taking 6 to 7 minutes. So I'm taking right now I'm taking a rough time. So 10 into 200 divided by 4. So I'm saving lots of time. I'm saving the resources. I just have, I don't need any person to sit there and do it. Okay. Shruti has a question. What are the different types of testing that Selenium WebDriver covers? I already told you it covers functional and regression testing. Is there any other testing you have in your mind, Shruti? It covers functional and regression testing. That is, it covers more, but this is the point where 99% of the companies are working on. Okay, that's the reason I took these two names. If you have any other question, you can ask. Okay, so this is the diagram which gives you a clear picture. Load testing, yes, I think I have answered it. With the help of Selenium Grid, you can do load testing. I'll give you a quick example. See, you have 500 test cases. Okay, if I have a dedicated system, what I'll do, I'll try to access my application live. I have a live application there. Few days back, you remember Flipkart came with a big day, something big billion day they came. Okay, that was the bad day for them actually, because it was getting hit by more than 5,000 or 10,000 users at the same time. That was the problem. So yes, you can do load testing in Selenium Grid. What you can do, you can test your application from 4 different systems. And in one system, you can test your application on 5 different browsers at the same time. So that will hit your application because it's there in the live. So you can test it. When you were testing your application one by one, it was getting executed in 2 minutes. But when you tried to execute your application from 4 different systems at the same time, or 10 different systems at the same time, when it is live, the execution time came maybe 3 minutes or 4 minutes. So you can see, okay, when more load was coming, you were getting the application was going down. I think I've answered your question, Shruti. Oh, cool. That's thank you, Shruti. Thank you. So if this diagram is the same thing what this diagram is saying, okay, but little bit more technical. I thought not to put here because this gives a real-time scenario and this gives a little bit in-depth knowledge. So your developer wants to do an execution on IE. He sends a request to hub. That will be your server on your system, and that server will send a request to 4 different machines and saying that this is the script that you have. Means anyways, when you will be sending your request, you will be passing your IP address on which machine you want to execute these many scripts. Okay, so it will go to that machine and it will, as per your request, it is IE, it will do the execution on IE. Okay, once the execution gets done, it will send a reply back to the developer. Actually, I have sent a direct flow, but it is not direct. It will send the request through server to the developer. Okay, that's cool. That's easy diagram. Okay, if anyone is having any question, you can ask me in between. Okay, so that was the 4 components that we saw today. Okay, I forgot. I'm forgetting the names. Okay, I'll be getting it soon. I'll be remember who was Shovan. So Shovan, from 44 to 64, don't worry, it's very easy. Okay, I'll go through it quickly, but I want you guys to do some work if we are not online. Okay, so what prerequisite knowledge you wanted to have? See, I'm very clear at this point of time. You need to have a basic understanding of programming language. Okay, but at the same time, I'm saying you don't have to be a hardcore developer. Okay, if today something is coming in the market saying that you have to be a hardcore developer, then what is the point in going? It's better I'll become a expert in Java only. Okay, so that's not a case. You need to have a basic understanding of it. I'll tell the tech team to upload the basic Java things that you should know, that how to create a project, how to create a class, and how to print 10 numbers. If you know the basics, how to print 10 numbers, that's it. I don't need you guys to be very much skilled. Once you do very much familiar with that, then you guys yourself can explore the things, right? Then if you are from a testing background, it gives you a very good exposure because you can invent the things. The statement which I said, you can invent the things, actually, because you have an API. If I tell you to go straight by taking 10 steps and come back by taking 20 steps, you will follow that only. You will go straight with 10 steps and try to come back in 20 steps. Okay, but if you know how to explore the things, you can go in 10 steps and come back in 5 steps only. You can come by jumping also. So that's what I mean to say. If you are from having some manual testing background or some testing background or any testing background, something related to it, you can explore the things. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So from this slide to coming slides, I have something is there related to Eclipse. Okay. So nothing special about it. So we have it's 11:15. Okay, it's actually 11 more than 15, in between 15 and 20, but I'm taking it as 11:15 only. Okay, I'll go through the slides first. Okay, and I'll show you what you have to do like before joining the class tomorrow. Okay, so I think I've told the tech team to upload. Can you guys check? Can you see an Eclipse installation document in your LMS? Oh, it's there? Eclipse installation document is there for you guys? Can you guys quickly check? It's inside the installation guide. Okay, that's cool. That's very good. Okay, it will save, because it was our first day. We extended it. That's not a problem. We didn't extended it. Why I'm saying it again and again, I don't know. We are on track only. Okay. So what you guys have to do, I'll open an Eclipse. So in the installation document, if it's there in your slide, I think I have in my system, module 1. I just have to cross check with you guys, because sometimes what happens, few of the students, we used to say that they have an installation document in there, but it's not. Okay, so let's now just forget everything. Just look into my screen, what I'm trying to say. Okay, this document will be there in your LMS. I have highlighted everything in red. Just follow the steps 1, 2, 3. Okay, and once you will go in step 1, you will see a link, Eclipse download. Then in step 2, once you will click on step 1, it will take you to the Eclipse site. Okay, here you will see the first option, Selenium Eclipse for Java developers. Download the latest Eclipse Luna. In first option, if you are from a Mac user, you can select Mac. If Windows, select Windows. If Linux, select Linux. Depending on your selection, you will get a link here. It is a 32-bit for Mac 32-bit you want to download, or Mac 64-bit you want to download. So that Mac version 32-bit or 64-bit you can do. Once you will click on it, it will take to the nearest region. Like when you click on it, right? They have Eclipse has Apache has many servers. Eclipse they have many servers installed on there in the world. So it will find the nearest server and it will try to give you a link. So once you will click on it, it will give you a pop-up. Click on save and OK. And then a file will be downloaded, a zip file. Just extract it and rename it as Eclipse so that it will be easy to understand. Like this. So once you will extract it, it will look like this. Okay. Means you have these you will get a list of folders. So double click on Eclipse, you will get a pop-up. This is a workspace. Okay, so you have to give the path of your project. So 1 and 2. Don't check this, because if you will check this box and say okay, every time it will take this path only. Okay, so don't check this box, just wherever you want it to have, you can create it. So it is there in C Sushobhit Selenium Edureka. I have my project there. Click on OK. Eclipse will launch a welcome window. You can close this and your Eclipse is installed. That's it. Okay. So installation of Eclipse is done. You can go, even if you face a problem, if it is not there in your LMS, I'm taking a scenario as right now you guys have, but if it is not there, you can go through the recording. That's the reason I go through the slides and the sets, what all the things you can do. Okay. So once it is downloaded, you have to go to new Java project. Tomorrow morning, what we'll be doing, guys, I'll start with creation of a project and then I'll go to module 2, because by that time I want you guys to install Eclipse in your system. Okay, tomorrow, because I'll be starting up with a project, some demo, and then we'll go to Selenium RC, and in Selenium RC also we have to cover up and do the execution. So I want you guys to at least install Eclipse in your project, because that is, it's not an installation, it's just a download also. Okay, so I'll be giving you the jar file and everything, so it will be easy for you. So once you will download it, go to File, New, Java Project. Okay. Okay, rather than going through the slide is very boring. I don't like it. I'll just open the Eclipse and do the things. Let it come. Okay. I'll click on OK. I'll go to the same project. So right now I'll try to create a project. Tomorrow again I'll repeat how to create a project. I have many projects in this link, so that can be a reason that it is taking time. But if it is a new workspace, it won't take that much time. Okay. Don't get scared with the code. It was just my own use. Okay. So what you have to do, go to File, to create a Eclipse Selenium project, File. What it is doing, File, New, then click on Java project. You'll get a pop-up, create a Java project, give a name. I'll say Selenium 24 January batch. This is how generally I used to give for the batches, my batches, so that it will be easy to track. Selenium training 24 Jan batch. I'll click on OK. So you need to have JRE installed in your system. If you have, if you can see the installation document, you need to install JRE also. I think it's there or not. Let me cross check it once again. No, it's just installation of Eclipse. Okay, it's there. Oh, that's good. Thanks, Ranjit. Thanks, friends here, because I'm not sure what is there in your LMS. So if you guys help me out, it's good. So installation of JRE and Eclipse is there. That's it. So whatever version of the JRE you have, you can select it. So whichever the latest version you have, it will come. Okay, and you have to give a meaningful name. Your project name should be meaningful. I belong to a development project for last, like it's almost my full experience was in development only. Okay, so I had my managers and all those things, so I'm very much strict to the naming conventions. Okay, so if you guys were sending me a project, I need a meaningful naming, names for classes and projects. Okay, I'll tell you how to give it, what all the rules that you have to follow. Okay, I really don't like if someone, because in previous batches I've seen someone will put any random name, so that's not what the coding is done. Okay, you need to do a clean coding. So you need to give a meaningful name. Your class project name should start with the caps and all are small. Each of the initials will start with caps. Okay, that's called camel case. Then click on next and click on finish. That's it. So project will be created. So I'll go to the slide once again. So you saw we went to project name, gave Selenium project, click on finish. project will be created. Okay, so right click on the project, add a folder called lib. I'll right click on the project and I'll create a folder lib. Why I want to create a lib? Because I want to put a Selenium API, not tool. Now I'll repeat every time. Selenium is not a tool. Selenium is an API, Java API, Python API, Ruby API, Perl API. Selenium is not a tool. Selenium is an API. So if I want to use Selenium, I have to put the API in my project. So I'll create a folder called lib. That is a standard naming convention to put the jar files. One folder will be created. Okay, I'll go back. So click on finish. You can see here a folder has been created. Okay, now as I told you, like okay, I gave a link. Copy the jar file. You have to copy this jar file from the link, or you can directly go to Selenium website. Let me close this first. Okay, so go at the top, click on downloads and get the, anyways you will be getting it Selenium IDE. You have to focus on where you have to RC and you have Selenium Webdriver. Okay, so if it is RC, you can download the server, and the Selenium Webdriver you can download it, and the latest versions also are here. Okay, so as of now I don't want you guys to do much work. Why do we need Eclipse at all? Shobhan, you can use any of the platform to do it. Eclipse is just a best way to interact with it. You can use any other platform, any other Java platform or a Python platform to do it. Okay, if that's not a hard and fast rule that you have to go with Eclipse. Okay, there are a hell lot of development tools in the market, but see, we should go with something which is widely used across the industries. Okay, not, I can go with a tool which is not used in the market at all. Okay, I think that's okay, right, Shovan? Okay, fine. Thanks, Shovan. So lib is created to put all the jar files in it. So I'll be putting up the jar files here. So I have an RC project already. So rather than downloading it, what I'll do, this is the jar file I have. Okay, inside libs. Okay, not this lib, within this lib, I'll copy one of the jar file, that is this one. Tomorrow I'll tell you friends how to download it and put it. Okay, don't worry about that. So I have copied it from my already existing project rather than downloading it from the link. Okay, so Selenium Java API I have. So once you will download it, what you have to do, putting in your project is not the only thing. Okay, you have to link that jar with your project. So what you have to do, I'll show you the steps and then I'll repeat it from these slides. Right click on it, build path, configure build path. See, this is first time you might be seeing it, so just take it as a learning. There is hardly very few things to do it. So it's like a very small thing that you have to do to configure it Eclipse. Okay, so whatever files I have put it in the lib folder, I need to link it with my project. So I'll say add jars. If it is in my project, I'll go to my specific project, click on lib and link on it. Okay, so now you can see it is added. Now again, if I'll try to go and try to add it, I won't get it because there is no other jar left which I want to link it. If there will be any jar, it will show me. Okay, so I'll click on OK. So it is coming here under library. Okay, so Java build path, library tab, click on OK. So you can see the change in the sign. Okay, again I'll repeat, right click on project, build path, configure build path. You can see Java build path under library tab, click on add jars if it is in your project. Select the project, select the jar file, click on OK. If it is somewhere in your system, you can go to the specific location, okay, and go inside IDE, like that way you can go and click on it and do it. So that way, that is the wrong way to do it, because if I'll today I have created a project and tomorrow if I want to give you this project, then you won't get the jar file. It will be missing in your project. Okay, so always try to keep your jar file here. I won't suggest add external jars. I'll always suggest you to put the jars in your project, create a lib and then do it. So that in future, if you try to, even if you move your project in your system, your project will always run. Okay. So this slide I have added it, add jars. You can see inside lib folder, you have click on add jar and then you have selected the jar file under lib. If all are added, then click on, select the project, then inside lib select the jar file and click on OK. Okay, and then all jars will be highlighted up here and click on OK. So how to create a Java class? So once your project is ready, you just have to right click on it, new, and create a class. Okay, so class, I'll give my first demo class. Camel case, all initials should be caps and others should be small without space. Okay, and click on it if you need a public static void main. I'll tell you what it is, but as of now just check that checkbox. Okay, so once you will click on OK, you will get a class created here. Okay, your package name, okay, leave it, we'll see it. Okay, so you gave a class, enter the package name. As right now I didn't enter the package name, so it is coming default package. When I clicked on class, creating a class, package name it was asking. Okay, so I gave a class, my first class, and created public static void main because this is the main method. When I'll try to run it, my operating system wants to call a method, so this is the only method which will be called. Okay, and click on finish. Once you will click on finish, a project, because I gave a package name, right, com.edureka.demo, so I get a view com.edureka.demo and my first class. Okay, and a class was created. So you can see here a class was created, but my package name is not there. Okay, fine. Let me com.edureka, because creating and putting your class in default package is bad. Put it in a package. So I'll tell you what package is. You will get to know. Okay, package is like collection of related classes. Okay, so this is the location where exactly you will putting up your code. Okay, so add code in this section. So you can see your project is created, your package is created, your class is ready, your jar files are ready, and you can add the code in this section. Okay, and so what you guys have to do, today I don't want to give you that's it for today, because tomorrow morning by tomorrow morning I want you guys to be ready with your Eclipse and Java installation and the configuration. Okay, configuration of it's there in your in the slide, so you can go to LMS, expand it, and go click on presentation the way I did it. Click here, or maybe you can expand it here also. It will come in a new window and you can download it. So by tomorrow, without any failure, I want you guys to get Eclipse and Java installed and Selenium configured, so that when you will do it right, tomorrow you can ask your questions, I'll help you out.